Second Esdras, chapter 8, and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And what you see going on here in America, Babylon the Great, is just the beginning. You see what's going on in LA, you see what's going on in Chicago, you see what's going on in New York, you see what's going on in Minneapolis. It's only the beginning, and it's going to get worse.
Chris, what happened here today in Los Angeles, I think, is the worst nightmare for so many people who live here. You know, Los Angeles is a largely so-called minority majority city. There are just as many people of color here as there are white people. And in fact, 10% of the population of Los Angeles County, come with me, which is one of the largest counties, the largest by population in the United States, is undocumented. There could be as many as 1 million undocumented people who live here in Los Angeles. And what you saw today, and what all of these people are protesting, is large-scale immigration enforcement raids. What you're looking at on the left-hand side of your screen is this protest from the sky. The helicopters are directly above me. You saw, I'm sorry for the noise, but you saw tactical officers on things like Bearcat vehicles, flashbang grenades on the city streets of Los Angeles, which largely felt like, as some people described in local media, that the military was on the streets of Los Angeles. Historically, the Los Angeles Police Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. But when you have got ICE in Los Angeles showing up reportedly at Home Depot, where many undocumented people go to get work as day laborers, you know the National Day Laborer Organizing Network well. Many of those people responded in the wake of the fires here in Los Angeles. When you've got ICE showing up outside of places like schools, it quite literally is striking fear into the heart of people all throughout this community. And it is, I think it's fair to say, the worst fear of so many people here who live in Los Angeles and who have heard President Trump threaten that they would do this. But when this day comes on a Friday morning that stretches into a Friday afternoon, people in Los Angeles are mobilizing and they are very upset.
You're a fucking loser! Well, tell your mama how you proud of rallying people and taking them in. What crime did they make? What crime did they commit? Nothing. I'm sure you're proud, bitch. Oh, you motherfucker, the KKK, look at that. This is Brian, you motherfucker. So proud of standing so tall.
Hey everyone, I'm here getting out of work and I'm just looking at all the chaos that happened here in LA. We had ICE in downtown. We had ICE at the courts today, just picking up people all over the place at Home Depot. It's really hard to think that tonight, there's going to be a bunch of kids missing their mom or their dad, their brother, their cousins. Someone got picked up. They didn't get picked up. They were kidnapped. We have these cowards that are working for the government wearing masks, trying to hide who they are, doesn't hide that you're a coward. You don't work for the president by himself. Your duty and your job is to uphold the Constitution. And just remember, there were Nazis that tried to use that as their defense and said that they were just following orders. That does not excuse what you're doing. You're a coward. These people that you're picking up, they're not criminals, because just because the president and certain people continue to dehumanize our people, they're not criminals. They're honest, law-abiding, hardworking people that are contributing to our society. For my people that
And that's what I brought out the last video. You know, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And I said this. I said a lot of you so-called Latinos, you come to this country, right? And you figure like if you just work and be law-abiding and put your head down and stay out the way, that this devil wasn't gonna search you out, man. But this devil has, you know, purposely put y'all in certain parts of Los Angeles. He know your whereabouts. So that way when shit like this goes down, he know exactly where to go to pick you up. The so-called Negroes, the same thing. You know? So you are Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are Israelites. This place, America, Babylon the Great, is your captivity. You were never supposed to make it here. You was never supposed to flourish and make a life for yourself here. Yeah, we understand you have to work. You go and you work and you try to make your life better as far as, you know, your situation financially, you know, doing for your family and things of that sort. But your main purpose here in America, you were sitting here as a prison sentence for your disobedience of the Heavenly Father. Your power, Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushua, you were supposed to seek him here. A lot of you are not seeking the Lord here, right? You walk around saying you love God. Oh, I love Jesus. Jesus ain't his name. And Jesus ain't going to save you, right? We've been telling you this. You got brothers on the streets of every major city and all throughout the four corners of the earth telling you the same thing, telling you that you are Israelites, telling you that you are the same people, but you are hard-headed and stiff-necked. This is the same thing that got your ass put in this situation, you know, in the first place. And you just doing the same thing over and over, man. Right? This brother said they're not criminals. They look at you like criminals. Right? Because you're not an Edomite, and even Edomites are catching hell at this time. But to hell with them. You so-called Latinos, you think that you're different. You think that you're better than the so-called Negroes. You don't want nothing to do with the so-called Negroes. So the Lord is going to put hell on you and get you to realize and understand that you ain't exempt. You and Jesus Cristo, right, are a lie, because his real name is Yahushua, man. Right? The all powerful, omnipotent, most high power. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushua. And they're gonna be the deliverers. Right? They're gonna bring you salvation. You call on any other name, you through. Right? You're through, man.
that are out there, don't come out. Let's continue our boycott. Stop spending money when you don't have to. Let's hurt them where it hurts them.
And they don't give a shit if you spend money, if you don't. They don't care. This devil, he knows that his end is near. He's past that. You can boycott. You don't have to, spend any money. You can choose to sit in the middle of the fucking street. This devil, he don't give a shit, man. These quote unquote federal agents, you think they coming out there because you ain't spending no money? No, they coming out there because they want to incite riots. They want to cause chaos and all anarchy and all hell breaking loose, so that way they can bring in their new world order, man. Because this place was never meant to flourish, man. Only for a time. This wasn't the end all be all. America is going to be destroyed. Right? The Lord is about to return, man. And a lot of you Israelites, man, you don't see it. All you see is America.
The most in their pockets. Let them feel it. They don't want us here. Okay, you don't want us here. We're not going to spend money. Know your rights. If you can, carry the little red cards. Okay, a lot of people have been messaging me, and I've been sending them to you, digital, through email, or I've met a couple of people so I can give them the cards. It's very important that you.
I don't think you got the memo, bro. But they deporting people that are here legally too. People that been here, that have their papers, they're grabbing them up too. So your little red card, they don't mean a goddamn thing. The way they look at it is that was under the Biden administration. Trump is a new a new age devil where, fuck all that. He pulling the gloves off on you tribes.
You know your rights. Don't answer any questions. Don't sign anything, and speak up. If you're someone that can speak up for other people. Your silence. There's a lot of people out there that are silent. Your silence is betrayal. You need to be speaking up for the people that don't have a voice. Right now, I'm working very closely with the city. I've met a lot of police officers. In a lot of the meetings, when I've talked to them, they've told us that they do not get involved. They don't get involved with ICE. They don't help them out. They don't provide any buildings to them. But today, I saw a lot of videos where LAPD was there. I'm just wondering, what were they doing there? Did they lie? I don't know. Hopefully they come out with a statement and tell us what were they doing there. It's frustrating, super frustrating. MAGA, making America great again. Doesn't sound like MAGA. It sounds more like MAWA, making America white again. That's what they're trying to do. And right now they're going after Brown. No one's safe. Okay, there's a lot of immigrants that thought they were safe. They voted for him, and there's certain groups that now they're feeling the pain. Okay, so again, we need to be united. We need to fight for the people that don't have a voice. Do not go out if you don't have to. Don't spend unnecessary money. Okay, we have to have each other's back. Sad moments we're living right now.
How can you lack so much compassion? What if your mom, your dad, was immediately just taken from you as a white person, as a black person, as anyone? How can you just accept that? This is not, fuck, bro. This is so unreal. And how can people just lack compassion? How? Why can't you just imagine yourself just waking up one day with your...
Well, like I said earlier, a lot of you Latinos, you don't want to deal with so-called blacks. You don't want to deal. You don't have compassion against the blacks, the so-called blacks in America. You don't have compassion against them, right? For years, as long as I've heard, like I said, I'm going to say this again. It's always, according to so-called Negroes, it's always been black and brown. Always have been black and brown. But when you look at so-called Latinos, they're not on that same wavelength, right? Not all, because we know there are a lot of so-called Latinos that deal with so-called Negroes, man. We know this, But for the most part, a lot of so-called Latinos, especially you Guatemalans, you Ecuadorians, right? You know, you Dominicans, and a lot of you so-called Mexicans, not all, you don't like to deal with so-called Negroes, right? You'll be quick to jump in with Esau Edom, the so-called white man, to call us niggas, to be a damn asshole on the job, because you got a little position. A lot of you think you're Edomites, man. A lot of y'all think y'all white, right? Y'all think y'all are so-called white, man, because nobody's white. But y'all look down on the so-called Negroes and praise Blanco, right? We see it, man. And this is why Negroes, you know, a lot of them, they feel like they was betrayed by y'all. So now you got a lot of so-called Latinos saying, where's the blacks? Why y'all not helping us? Why y'all not standing with us? When y'all have never stood with so-called Negroes, you know, when they was catching hell in this country, man. And like I said, I'm not speaking about all of you, but the majority of you, yeah, you stayed out the way.
Family not there anymore. So LA businesses are getting raided by ICE, or some people that are wearing stuff that says ICE on it with their faces all covered up. People are getting ran over. Shots are being literally fired, literally. And this is supposed to be life right now. We're not going to get treated like humans because they don't see us like humans. They lack compassion. How can you lack compassion? How? I understand that you're trying to get criminals out. Why are you going to workplaces where people are just trying to work? That doesn't make sense.
He has no right. You guys are fucking stupid. You cannot do this. He has a family. Leave him alone. He has a
They say
family,
ICE is out here only going after the bad guys, right? But let me tell y'all something that I saw that proves all of that straight bullshit. Last night I ran into two of my old partners from high school. Both these guys are immigrants. One's from Samoa, one's from Tonga. Both these guys just got out of prison with some real charges too, man. I'm talking kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon, gang enhancements. They're both validated gang members pretty much. You would think ICE would be all over them, right? No, y'all. They are actually walking free. ICE ain't knocking on no parole offices. They're not camping outside of jails. They're not at your local prison. They're not at your local probation department. You know where they're at? Construction sites, farmlands, restaurants, places where only hard-working immigrants are.
Hello there, you guys. Yes, you know, Torrance Elementary is winding down for the school year. Many students getting their final grades and their summer reading lists. That is, except for one fourth grader. The PTA president says that he went with his father last Thursday down to Texas for a hearing on their immigration status. And then after that hearing, they were separated and detained. No doubt a very scary situation for a little boy.
I was one of the translators in there because I speak English, Portuguese, and Spanish, and they would come in there with their papers and they would say, "Can you translate this for me? Because I don't want to sign something and get deported." And a lot of those papers, I would have to look back at them and be like you're being deported, like they're taking you out of the country. These people have families, man. Like they have kids to go home to. They had me in handcuffs. Sometimes our lunch and dinner would be crackers. You sleep on concrete floors. I have to use the bathroom in the open with like 35-year-old men. We don't get to see the daylight. Supposedly we're supposed to stay there for under 72 hours. Like I said, I stayed there for 6 days.
Do you guys know how lucky you are if you don't, like, if your family doesn't have to worry about like getting deported and stuff? Because like I just think about my mom and my parents, like they're out working and they can't stop working, but they're like literally living in fear and seeing all these fucking raids happening in downtown where the people just went to work and now they're not going home. They're gonna go to like detention centers and like, you know, like it just fucking sucks. And
it was never about deporting criminals. It was always about racism. And for the Latinos that don't understand this, that are like, well, I did it right. Well, my family did it right. It doesn't matter. They don't like you. You will never be one of them. Right now, you are useful and beneficial. But once they no longer need you, they're coming for you. They're coming right now after citizens. They're coming after children. They're coming after people who have a status and are going to immigration court. They're breaking every single law, and they are doing it without due process. They are just deporting people. If you look a certain way, if you have a certain tattoo that they think might or might not, you're out. You're out. If they could deport me, they would.
Yeah, like I said, they don't care about your status here, man. Right? They don't care about, how long you've been in the country, if you got a business here. It ain't about no fucking money, man. This devil is showing you how he really feels about you. That's what it's all about, man. This devil been waiting to unleash on you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, man. And it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, man. Yep. It says the brother put the title, it says the time of Jacob's trouble is near. Northern Kingdom first, Southern Kingdom the worst, man. Because Judah is the head tribe. The so-called Negroes in this country, right? The American blacks and this and that. And trust me, you got Negroes that's watching this, me being one, that sees this, man. And a lot of Negroes, they think that they out the way because they've been here. We got what is that? Birthright citizenship. We sovereign. Get the fuck out of here, man. You so-called Negroes gonna catch hell too, man. Right? This is just the nature of the beast. The nature of this devil. Right? He comes in, he starts his shit, and then when people react, he tells you that, we were just doing our jobs. They were the aggressor. This and that. But this devil the whole time is the problem. And we've been telling you that this devil is the problem, man. But you don't understand. You don't get it. But you're gonna get it, man. I got another clip that we're gonna play. But let me get this and we get this other one. This is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. So a lot of you so-called Latinos and Negroes, you trust this devil, man. Right? And don't get it twisted. These devils that's in the midst of these protests, they there to incite riots too, man. They're paid off the same way it happened back during the time of what's this dude's name that got choked out by the cop? George Floyd, when they was paying people to incite riots. So these devils are there to incite riots, to take shit to the next level. Right? We call them agents, actors. Right? So it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so as iron is sure to rust, so is his wickedness. His wickedness is definitely going to come out, and you're seeing it, man. You heard this woman, she said, they're not giving people due process. If you look a certain way, you have a certain tattoo that they don't like, that they suspect, they just going to grab you up, and they're going to take you, man. And that's the way it's going down. And this devil has been doing this for the longest, man. So he feels like he's in the right. Ain't nobody gonna stop him. But the gig is up. This man's time is done. He knows it. Right? So it says, though he humble himself and go crouching. Yep. In the beginning, starting with Biden, he told you to come here, make a life for yourself, the land of opportunity will help you. And then guess what? They came in with that good cop, bad cop. Biden came in, getting you all over here, letting you just walk over here, right? Gave you this, gave you that. And then Trump, now what? He's taking everything from you, man. So these devils are on the same page, man. A lot of them. They are divided, but a lot of them are on the same page. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, man. His evil and his wickedness and him being the devil has never went anywhere. It has never went anywhere. This was always on the back of this man's mind, man. This devil's mind. Right? He's tired of playing with you. He's tired of having to fake who he is for you, man. Now he's about to show his hand. Right? But he's not going to stop prophecy. He's not, man. So let me get this other one. Salakia. Let me see this one. Just get it there. Because it's going down over there, man. It's going down over there in LA, man. Let me get another one. This is 2nd Ezra, right? Chapter 15. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, starting at 5. And it reads, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what the Lord is bringing on the earth. Right? As you see the title of this one, it said the devil is preparing to come with great wrath, man. And this is only the beginning of his wrath. Imagine, see, now people are just grabbing you up, putting cuffs on you, putting you on a plane, sending you away. We're coming into a time where it's going to go from people not being able to eat with their families because their families left, got kidnapped or whatever. It's going to go from that to, people being put in caskets, man. And their families never being able to see them again. Because that's ultimately what this devil is getting at or getting to, Ultimately what he getting to. This is jumping to 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Salaki, I'm going to start at 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Meaning destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, because this is going to get bloody, man. Right? Once it goes to another level, people are going to start, going all out for their families, because they're going to get tired of people just coming in taking their family members, man. So, hey, man, this is like a line of gunpowder going to a building or a keg, a powder keg, and that flame is about to, hit that powder keg and it's about to blow up, man. That's what's about to happen in this country, man. While you were getting ready for Juneteenth and fucking the 4th of July and Father's Day and all that BS. Hey, the Lord is using this devil to come down with great wrath on you tribes, man. Right? So it says, for there shall be sedition among men. So it's going to be a sedition, man. And let's get what sedition is. Let's get what sedition is. All right? Sedition, it says conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch, right? So people are going to start rebelling, right? And what's that speech? You know, Trump giving the green light to ICE to go and deport whoever. And it's pretty much whoever they want now, right? So people are going to start rebelling against the authority of the state or monarch, man, against the powers that be, you know? And we here, man. This ain't gonna die down. This can't die down, man. Like Lord willing, 2025, this is the year of our redemption, man. This is the year of our salvation. Right? So it says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. People are going to take matters into their own hands, man. They don't respect the authority of and the leadership of this country, man. And it's happening all across the globe, right? It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because they're gonna right now they're deploying the National Guard over there. And they said if things get worse, they're gonna deploy the Marines over there, man, as you're gonna hear in this video. So it's going to go to another level, and like I said earlier, you so-called Negroes, you ain't out the way, man. Like that Jake said earlier in the car, he said they coming for Brown first. So you know who comes next? The so-called Negroes, man. Right? You better pay attention. Verse 18, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, and people are being broken up. Families are being broken up. That's the houses being destroyed. Right? Right? The cities are being troubled. LA right now, Chicago, New York, Minnesota. Soon it's going to hit all 50 states, man. Right? All of this is because of your pride, man. All of this for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans is because you refuse to listen to the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. You look down on his prophets because we are the prophets and the servants of the Lord giving you the warning of what's going to happen. We told you that this was coming, man. Well, a lot of you didn't listen. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and there's no pity. There's no pity, man. This devil ain't having no pity. All you Israelites that thought that this man was your friend, you see he's having no pity on you, man. You can talk to you blue in the face. He don't give a shit, man. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. That great tribulation is here, man. Right? That great tribulation is here. Right? And it's not stopping, man. It's not stopping. So we're gonna get one more. We're gonna play this. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, right? And of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And we know that this devil, and he knows that his time is short and his time is done. He don't wore out his welcome. He knows the Lord is going to return and destroy his ass. So he saying to himself, listen, we got to make our move now. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, it tells you the counsel of the wicked and what they say toward one another, man. Because what? The Lord knows everything. The Lord is the father of spirits. He puts spirits in people. The same way he put the spirit in the Israelites to be a certain way is the same way he put the spirit in these Edomites to be their way, man. right? It's crazy, man. This devil is showing his wrath. He's coming down with that great wrath. So check it out, man.
President Trump says he is deploying the National Guard as protests erupt over federal immigration raids. Trump's border czar Tom Homan says 2,000 soldiers are heading to Los Angeles tonight, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth warns that if violence continues, active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton will also be mobilized. Crowds are flooding the streets for a second day. They're furious over the dozens of arrests during ICE raids across L.A. Protesters blocked traffic and clashed with federal agents today. Officers on the ground even fired tear gas into the crowds. California Governor Gavin Newsom is blasting the deployment, saying it will only escalate tensions. In New York, similar protests erupted in Lower Manhattan. At least 17 people were arrested today as demonstrators pushed back on ICE enforcement. Federal agents have been spotted near courthouses all week, and protesters say they're not backing down. Chicago is one of several cities now on high alert. This is video from Wednesday showing people taken into custody during an immigration check in the South Loop. The Department of Homeland Security says agents in Chicago and other major cities are being told to keep a close eye as officials closely watch the unrest in California.
Secretary Hegseth said that active duty Marines there at Camp Pendleton, there by San Diego, are on high alert and could be mobilized. Could we really see active duty Marines on the streets of Los Angeles?
You know, one of our core principles is maintaining peace through strength. We do that on foreign affairs and domestic affairs as well. I don't think that's heavy-handed. I think that's an important signal. You don't think sending Marines into the streets of an American city is heavy-handed? We have to be prepared to do what is necessary, and I think the notice that might happen might have the deterrent effect.
ICE is being told to not go after criminals. The real president, Stephen Miller, wants social chaos and civil disruption. They want society to fall apart so they can do more authoritarian policies. Trump was at a UFC event last night, while at the same time threatening to send in the Marines to Los Angeles. The Marines, okay? At the same time, Trump's having a military parade in D.C. for his birthday to show extreme militarized force in American streets. They also want to normalize sending in the military to whatever protest they want to throughout America. We already know what Trump wanted to do his first term, and now all of that is becoming actualized. Remember, they are telling ICE to not go after criminals. They're telling ICE to put on their face coverings. These federal agents with no faces, no way to identify them, no way to hold them accountable. They want them to go into peaceful communities, working communities, and cause chaos. So if there's justified protests and there's some people who get violent, or maybe they send in some actors to cause violence to make things worse, because if you send in the military to peaceful protests, you can cause violence, okay? There's a thing called riot control. There's a way to handle peaceful protests. And this administration is doing whatever they can to pour gasoline on the fire, okay? They want to cause society to fall apart. They are literally telling you they don't care about going after criminals. They will go after peaceful people in their workplaces. They'll go after them at their immigration court hearings. People who try to go through the legal processes, they are abusing and terrorizing them for a reason. It's on purpose.
National Guard going to LA was not a reaction to what is happening. It was planned. What they did in LA to bring out resistance was planned. This was a master plan. You guys, and it's going to get worse. What's next is martial law. We're going to see more National Guard in other cities as well, and then martial law to follow. If you're not fucking prepped for that, you need to get prepped for that. And we need to continue to resist and resist and resist peacefully. But
this ain't the time of peace. This is the time of war. This is the time of destruction. This is the time of the Lord's wrath, man. Right? It's going to get so bad out here, right, that the Lord is going to show his hand for his people, man, for the elect's sake, right? But we're in a time of trouble like never before. Jeremiah 30:7. I brought this out on my last video. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. So ain't nothing like what's coming. There has never been anything on the earth like what's coming. It says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble but he shall be saved out of it, man. So we are living in the time of Jacob's trouble, right? We're in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. But the Lord said, what? He shall be saved out of it, man. The elect. Verse 12, Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, right? The number one angel under Yahushua, man. Right? Micah, right? The great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Right? So this is the time that never was since there was a nation, man. Right? And the Lord is going to show his power soon. Right? Us, the men of the Lord, we believe that. Because we sick of this devil and the Lord is sick of this devil. Right? So it says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book. And who's written in the book on this side? The elect. Right? Which we pray we are of that number. Right? We pray we are of that number. Because the Lord said what during this time? This is Job 5:19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Right? This is at the end. We at the end. The Lord's going to deliver us in the end. Right? It says, yea, in the 7th there shall no evil touch him when we are in the kingdom, man. Right? Because that's completion. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword, man. And that's what's going on, the power of the sword. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. And we in that time of destruction. We are in that time of destruction, man. Right? And the Lord said, we ain't going to fear. Right? We ain't going to be afraid. You know, just seeing this, it gets under your skin. Because this fucking devil has been doing this for a long fucking time. According to us. But for the Lord, it's been, 2 days? You know? It says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, man. So listen, the men of the Lord, man, which we pray we are of that number, on this side, the elect, it is you're about to see some beautiful things happen, man. You're about to see some beautiful things happen, man. The Lord is about to do some things that is going to bug you out. Right?
But this shit is getting real.
Hey, I wanted to do this post because I've been peeping the protest that's going on out there in Los Angeles. And I wanted to kind of zero in on all of my Hispanic people and Latinos and Latinas on this post. And believe me, I understand why you are out there protesting. But from my heart, I want to say, don't do it. Don't do it, please. Don't. Sit it out. Because you going out there and protesting will make a bigger problem. This is what they want. This is why they are doing it. They're baiting people to come out and start protesting and then cause problems. And then it's easy for them to say it's anarchy out in the streets. We need to issue martial law to get this under control. And once martial law has been issued, we are now under a militarized police force. We will not be up under the Constitution anymore. there will not be judges that can block certain things from happening. This is exactly what they want. So I'm like I said, I understand why they're out there. But for the greater good of everybody, your family, my family, everybody, even MAGA, they probably don't even understand that martial law would affect them as well. That is the end game for them right now. That is the goal.
And the goal is to destroy Esau, Edom. That's the goal, man. Right? That's the goal. Things are gonna get bad, man. We've been telling you, and that's pretty much our message, man. Things are gonna get bad. But you see, we know that they're gonna come down on the men of the Lord as well. Right? Because trust me, the same way they know, where you so-called Latinos, dwell at in the cities. They know where the so-called Negroes dwell at in the cities. They also know who's doing the work of the Lord. They got a digital print of every brother that's putting, videos up and where we teach it and all that. We all know this. We know this, man. And we know that this devil gonna come down on us. We know that this devil gonna come for us, man. But you see, the difference between this devil coming at the people of the world and this devil coming at the men of the Lord is different, man, because the Lord said, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. Right? Once this devil tries to come at the men of the Lord, hey, the Lord is gonna make a move, man. This is Isaiah 59 and verse 19. It says, so they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, like they're doing in all these cities, it said, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So when I said that you're going to see beautiful things happening in these last days, you're going to see power like you've never seen, or you only seen on goddamn movies. You're going to see it in real time and in reality, man. Your eyes are going to be have a surprised look and a fearful look. Is going to be on your eyes, man. You're going to see things that you never thought you'd see in your life, because the Lord is going to give certain men spiritual powers. And when the spiritual powers are activated on brothers, then it's game time, man. There's not going to be any mercy. Right? The same way this devil shows no mercy, the Lord said that in James 2. He said, so he shall be judged without mercy that have showed no mercy. Right? So he can't plead, he can't say nothing. He can't say sorry, he can't say a damn thing, man. That's just the way it's going to go down. But let's get this last one, because this is the Lord doing this. This is Ezekiel 7:1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord, power unto the land of Israel, and the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations, all the shit you've been doing in the Lord's face and not repenting of it. You not wanting to hear his word, you scoffing at his word, right? The Lord said, hey, he gonna send his anger upon you for according to your ways and for the evil of your doings. Right? So it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. The end is come, the end is come, and watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, and thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all their abominations. So that's the second time the Lord said that, man. The Lord is fixing to put evil on you Israelites because you're a wicked ass people, man. You're being wicked. 2/3 of our people, they are wicked as hell, man, and they love America. They into the whole colorful community shit, right? They into every sin under the sun, and they not repenting of it. They just dwelling in it, right? The Lord said, what? I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense, meaning pay back thee for all thine abominations. And my eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways, thine abominations that are in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord that smiteth, man. And guess who the Lord is using to do it? This devil right here that you see on the screen. Right? Because the Lord is tired of 2/3 as well as Esau Edom. 2/3 of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you about to catch a hell that you never thought existed. This is how you always talk about hell and burning in the earth. That's a lie, man. That hell that's about to come on you is hell on earth, man. You've been catching hell on earth, but this is about to be a new hell, a next level of hell, and it's about to get unbelievably hot on your ass, man, because you refuse to listen to the words of the Lord. So I'm going to leave it there. The point has been made. Yahweh Shem Yahushua willing, the elect was other Father. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakal Kadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson, I'm going to say Shalom.